As you can see, it's autumn here in the garden and it's a fantastic time to divide perennials. It might take them a year to get settled in their environment, but after 3, 4, maybe 5 years, there comes a time when they're starting to become overcrowded, and this is the time to divide them. Your perennials are really going to appreciate being divided. They're going to have more space to grow into their new environment. They're going to grow more vigorously, and you are going to have plenty of plants for free to share with your friends. If you have a really wet soil, you might prefer to divide your plants all in the spring, because a lot of plants just don't like sitting in cold, wet soil. So these are daylilies, and they're an example of a really robust perennial that benefits from being divided at this time of year. So I'm going to use a fork because that's going to cause less damage to the roots. So I'm just working my way around the plant to loosen the roots so that it's going to be easier to get out of the soil and cause less damage. And it is working rather beautifully. I've got very loose sandy soil, and so you may find that in a much tougher soil you need to use a spade, but they're such robust plants that they can still cope with it. This is just the optimum, is to use a fork, so don't worry if you can't. And just cut away the foliage, then you can see what you're doing. It doesn't need it anymore, it's autumn. And it feels like they're coming apart quite easily. You need to put back to back. You then have 2 clumps, which then you can just pull apart, and then you can divide them again and again using the same technique. You divided it in 2. I would then divide it in 2 again, and then I wouldn't go any further than that. I would probably leave it at that point, so that you're looking at plants which are about the size of a teapot. So here we have your divisions. All you need to do now is replant these, space them out, give them a really good water, and you shouldn't need to water them again until spring. So here we have Iris sibirica, which is a fantastic plant because it grows pretty much anywhere and in any soil, in sun or in shade. And there's probably about 3 or 4 plants here which all seem to have melded together into one. But they are separate plants, and I'm just going to divide one that's somewhere around here. So I just need to find the spot where one plant starts and the other finishes. And I am going to work my way around the plant in the same way that I did with the daylilies, except I'm going to use a spade this time because these roots are very tough in the ground, and I will be cutting straight through them. So because this is such a big clump, I've actually decided to cut pieces off it, starting from in the middle, getting the fresh shoots from around the side in sections, rather than attempting to get the whole thing out and then divide it once I've dug the whole thing up. Because I think it must be about 5 years old, this clump, and that's given it plenty of time to really bed down. And it's a plant that is really going to benefit from being divided, because what happens is you get a hole in the middle and all the good stuff develops around the outside. And so if you divide all the younger growth, then you're going to really reinvigorate it. It's a bit like working through a jungle. You could split that once more down the middle and cut back the foliage and replant. So this is oregano, and in contrast to the Iris sibirica, this has got plenty of foliage in the middle. It's got a woody crown to it. The Iris sibirica tends to grow outwards and have all its best shoots on the outside. This is still very, very happy on the inside, but it's just too big. It's a very enthusiastic plant, and if you do plant this, you may well find yourself splitting it after about 3 years. So hostas are really popular to have in pots, really, really diverse. This one is getting all ready for the autumn and closing down. These you can split in the autumn, or you can split in spring. In spring you can see where the little shoots are, and you want to be doing it just when you can see the little pyramids of shoots coming. This one I'm aiming to actually split by just pulling it apart. It's been in here for a while, so we'll see how easy it is to do that too. If you find that it's too difficult, you can use a knife actually, but this is pulling apart quite nicely. So again, I can feel the fibre, the roots just coming apart here, and I'd probably use that as a nice division. You've got probably three good shoots there, and that is perfect. So that's really all there is to it. Lifting and dividing perennials. Just make sure that once you've divided your perennials that you get them planted as soon as you possibly can, so that the roots don't dry out. And I would say that that is a very pleasant way to spend an afternoon. And don't forget that you can find information on any aspect of gardening on the RHS website.